I'm taking the dog, dumbass. And this is the swamp.
As she should.
Yeah. That dog was so good. I love that Elle Woods has the little chihuahua and that she has like the bulldog. Is that a bulldog?
Something like it.
Do we ever learn his name?
It's bulldog-esque.
I just love them.
I don't think so.
As a dynamic duo.
For sure. I like it because those two dogs are very much like, you know, in like the original 101 Dalmatians, kind of like dogs that like fit like a person's like style and personality.
Yes.
Both of those do exactly that in this movie.
I thought you were gonna say like, you know how all dogs were once wolves, right? As far as history and science is concerned, that every dog could be traced back to a wolf at some point. And so you look at a dog like a husky, right? And you're like, checks out. You look at a dog like a pug, and you think, science didn't do that, nature did not do that, we did that as humans.
We owe pugs a formal apology, if you ask me.
There are little breathing problems that they have. Just dogs like that. And like chihuahuas too, honestly, and like French bulldogs. You just look at them and you're like, we made that. A wolf would never just naturally turn over millions of years into a French bulldog. It just wouldn't happen.
No. I feel bad for them. I feel like I should give them money whenever I see them on the street. Well, I'm like, here.
They cost...
your own financial compensation.
Like, purebred, like, pugs and Frenchies and stuff like that cost, like, a stupid amount of money. So, they're already... They're getting their best life, I think. But, adopt, don't shop is our official stance here on the Swamp Podcast, which is what you're listening to right now. The Swamp is an acronym.
Stands for some whack-ass movie podcasting.
And if you did, for some reason, if, like, my tangent about wolves just, like, led you astray a little bit, just to remind you, this week we're talking about Legally Blonde.
It's the girl boss movie of all girl boss movies, if you ask me.
Yeah, we wanted to end this month with just a nice stamp. Just a nice stamp on the theme. And we've been doing Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girl Boss. And I think this movie has touches of all of it, but it is just when you say, oh, like, girl boss movie, Legally Blonde, duh. Yes. That's it. That's the one.
Exactly.
And I just have to say that when a movie soundtrack starts with Perfect Day, when that hits, sun's up a little after 12, I shift. You know TikTok shifters? You know, the ones who shift?
Stop. Okay.
We know a shifter.
Yeah. I was gonna say, because... I had one thing to say because this soundtrack brings me right back to show choir when we did like show choir pit band and I had like war flashbacks a little bit. I was like, it slaps, but like I'm having a really hard time.
We did, Emily and I were in, so show choir, if that's not a thing that your like high school has or had, it's basically like Glee, like the show Glee, like they sing and dance on stage, but like it's a little more serious and there's usually like a theme. So like one year we did like apocalypse theme and everyone wore like torn up clothes. It's really stupid, but this one year was about bullying. It was about like girls getting bullied. And it opened up with Perfect Day, because it's like, your life is great, but then she goes to school and she gets bullied. And that was the story arc we were following through this show choir show. And so we were back, so we played, we didn't do the singing. I want to clarify right now, we didn't do the singing. Right. We sat underneath the stage and we played the instruments.
Here's the thing, is I never knew that was the theme for that year.
Yeah, it was about getting bullied. It was about, like, mean girls. Like, girls being mean and bullying each other. So it starts off and you're like, it's a perfect day. But then you go to school and people tell you you're fat and ugly. And then I don't know. There was something about looking in a mirror. It was a lot. But we did have to learn this song. You played it on the drums and I played it on the synthesizer. The perfect instrument to play Perfect Day on is the synthesizer, because it's just...
You have 3 notes.
High velocity synth.
But, sorry, you were saying something about shifters, and we did know a shifter that was in show.
Yeah, this does come full circle, because we do know, will not be named, but a prominent shift talker who goes into the Hogwarts universe, who's somebody who was in this show choir show that we did the soundtrack for. And this song makes me shift into the Legally Blonde universe. When this song hits, I know it's time. I know it's time to fucking get my pink pleather suit on. I know it's time to get Bruiser in his bag, to put on 18 different ascot scarves. It's time to girl boss the fuck out of the legal system.
Yep. I put on my perfume. Just kidding. I did not.
I was gonna say, I don't think I own perfume.
Really?
No.
I was talking with some people recently about that and how, like, perfume is, like, a dying thing, really. But, like, I fucking love it.
I love that for you. Couldn't be me. I can, like, barely remember to put on deodorant.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm stinky. Like, I'm in, like, a full denim jumpsuit, and it's just wet to the touch with my sweat, and I couldn't be bothered. Because it's just, like, I'm too perfect every other way, so I just have to smell bad. I have to smell bad so people aren't intimidated around me, you know?
It's... You're one flaw, really.
And I just need to maintain it, because I would have too much going for me if I smelled good.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know, perfume's just expensive.
I always get it, like, as, like, a birthday gift or something like
once
that.
a year. I feel like it would be a thing I would buy for somebody else, but never for myself. You know? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I don't know. It just, it feels like it's one of those things that, like, when it elevates, like, when, like, you know, when you have your routine of getting ready and all that stuff, and it's just one of those things you're like, a little perfume, okay.
Did you get a little behind the ears? A little, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, a little dab. I think Elle Woods uses Daisy by Marc Jacobs
I own Daisy by Marc Jacobs.
Or like Candy by Prada is another one that just kind of like smells. I feel like if she was a little less high class, you know the one, it's like the bright pink container. I think it's just called like Baby or something. But it just smells like straight up fucking cotton candy. That's what I picture Elle Woods to smell like. A Jolly Rancher.
No, I think that she keeps... Okay. Because... one of the first, like, instances you meet her, she is on top of her game. She knows what's in, what's out. I think she, like, in terms of clothes, and also in terms of perfume and in terms of scents, I think she's on top of her game. I don't think she, like, messes around. She doesn't have a signature scent. She moves. She ebbs and flows.
Clearly she has the finances, too, to keep up with it, because, damn, if I had some rich Beverly Hills daddy, I would also dress like that all the fucking time. I cannot stress enough how much the costumes in this movie mean to me, because...
outstanding.
Her hair... Okay, we can, like, get into fucking the plot, but right now I need to talk about the most important thing in this movie, which is Elle Woods' hair, because it is the titular role. She's the...
Alright, tell me what you need to tell me. Lay it out for me. Well, what about it?
Her blondness is the catalyst for this whole movie, right? And so that's just what we have to pay attention to. Reese Witherspoon's fucking hair in this movie never looks a strand off of perfection, and it is different in every scene. One scene, she's got a side pony. The next scene, she's got a big coif. The next scene, she's doing a little swoop bang moment. I cannot believe, as equally as impressed as I am with the costumes in this movie, the hair in this movie, it's just insane. It's just insane. And that's the blanket statement I'm gonna make before we dive into this movie, is that I think everyone needs to go back. I don't care when the most recent time you watched Legally Blonde is. Go right now, watch Legally Blonde, and take a shot every time her hairstyle changes, and you'll be blasted by the end of the movie. Just a count.
I couldn't make it.
Just every time the camera switches, oh, suddenly she has a braid. Oh, now she's got space buns. Oh, bangs? Where did those come from? New hairstyle every scene.
I couldn't make it past, like, the 30-minute mark, probably.
Yeah, right. I would say maybe a shot's a lot. A sip. A sip from a... We'll get into what we're gonna drink, but...
Alright, so should we get into the plot? Because, honestly, I'll say it. If you haven't seen this movie, that's a bit ridiculous. I don't know what you've been doing. I don't know where you've been. I don't know what your background is, but I think this is one of those movies that, like, should be regulated, that every single person watches this movie by the time they're, like, 18. Like, it's, like, one of those things, like, to officially be an adult, you need to watch Legally Blonde.
I have two statements to concur with what you're saying.
Okay.
One with you and one against you. Is that the one with you is that even if you have not seen Legally Blonde, you know the plot of Legally Blonde by simply existing in American culture. You know that Elle Woods gets dumped and then goes to Harvard Law School and girl bosses the fuck out of it. Even if you don't know the little idiosyncrasies, you basically know what happens because of gift sets on Tumblr. every social media, just cultural influence. I think if you haven't seen Legally Blonde, you still know Legally Blonde. But the second point was not made by me, but was made by Henry, who I did force to watch this movie with me. And
hey, wait, question. Had he seen it before?
He had never seen it before. And he was like, I was like, will you watch this with me? And he's like, I don't know, I've never seen it before, but like, whatever. And I was like, here are my 2 hit points. It's a 90-minute film. It's a tight 136.
That's my first note on my list. It says perfect hour 30.
Yes. It's a tight 90, and Jennifer Coolidge is in it. And he's like, oh, well, you don't have to say anything else. Of course I'll watch it with you. And so those were like the 2 yes. But he had a couple of really insightful points as an adult man who had never seen Legally Blonde. And one of them that I thought was pretty good is at the end, he was like, if you aren't from America and you don't aren't super familiar with that whole like sorority frat culture or just like the college institution culture and the whole getting into certain schools and the way the hierarchy is, this movie would mean so much less to somebody who doesn't quite get the context. I think the movie does a good job of setting that up and really hammering it over the head with what it is, but this is a very American film.
That's very true. So for the handful of listeners that we have from like Europe or South America or Australia or anything like that, I will give you a free pass. This is me telling you that you should go watch it, but I'll give you a free pass for not having watched it. But if you're an American...
anywhere where the college culture isn't quite so intense, which is basically everywhere but America. I would beg to say that we're the only country that so hard does the like, and now you're in a frat, and now you're the president of the frat, and now you have to I don't know. Is that a thing in other places? If you're in a really intense like German sorority, please, if you're in a German frat and you guys do keg stands every day, please hit me up. I would love to know about it.
Well, like, that's my thing is that, like, I mean, a lot of frats and sororities really revolve around, like, drinking culture and everything like that. And that's because, like, you can't drink until we're 21 here. But, like, anywhere else, like, it's 18, 16 in some places, stuff like that. So it's not a big fucking deal. So they don't need to, like, go into a sorority and socially drink or anything like that. You've already had your days. I feel like you're already an adult by the time, like, you get to college. You're like, oh, yeah. I mean, like,
right?
we could go get blasted, but, like, or we could have, like, 2 glasses of red wine and go to bed by, like, 10:30.
As it should be. But, like, have you ever seen Skins? Those kids are, like, 14 and they do MDMA every day. That's just, to me, the only thing I know about specifically British culture is from Skins. I just think that you guys all do Molly and go to the club.
But see, that's my thing, is they're 14 and doing that. They've got that out of their system by the time they hit, like, university.
They also get to go to college for free, so I think it's, like, way chiller. That it's kind of just like, oh, this is just, like, a thing I get to do. Whereas here in America, it's like, you have to sign your life away.
Yeah.
Right? And so you better fucking make the most of it.
One thing that I thought was absolutely wild was when I learned that, like, all, like, and I'm just speaking in terms of, like, the UK, because I don't know elsewhere, but everyone gets their own dorm to themselves. Or not dorm, but, like, dorm room to themselves. You know what I'm saying? Bro,
here in America, we pack it in like fucking sardines. They're like, 6 of you are gonna share 2 beds. So, take shifts. We're gonna give you a microwave, but no working outlets. Mm-hmm. And there's gonna be 1 shower that you share with 150 other people of all genders. Work it out. Yep. And it costs $80,000 a year to go here.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh my goodness. What I would have done to have, like, a room to myself in college. Like, oh my god.
But Legally Blonde...
Elle Woods has a room to herself.
Yeah, that's true. In a sorority house, I wonder if you get a really nice one, if that's different, if it's like a bougie. Because do you have to pay to be in a sorority? I'm pretty sure you do. That's why they get to like live in a nicer...
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have... Their dues are like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It's absurd. It's like... it's like extra, like, tuition fees, pretty much. Like, if you're in a sorority, scary. I don't know if fraternities are the same way, but I know sororities,
I would bet.
And there are so many, like, strict rules, especially for, like, rush week and all that shit. Like, I have a friend or two that are, like, in sororities, and they're like, yeah, you have to wear X, Y, and Z, which we know you don't own, and we're gonna give you strict outfits for, like, every single day of the week. And you have to go out and spend, like, $400 and get these items or else you're cut.
I know. I have a lot to say about American sorority culture, but this isn't the podcast for it. And I do say
we're getting off topic.
I support Elle Woods. I kind of like this sorority. I think it's about sisterhood and it's cute.
If I had to join a sorority, I would want to join Kappa Nu.
Well, you're not invited because you're not blonde, because I have to say, this movie starts off, there's that one girl, there's one brunette, and it's the friend.
I could be the token brunette.
The one...
Just kidding. No, I'm a little too fruity for them.
Yeah, right. I don't know, the one brunette friend, she, like, had a bob. She could have swung either way, I don't know. But yeah, so the movie opens with Perfect Day, a musical masterpiece, and it introduces Elle Woods' sorority, Kappa Nu, all blondes, every blonde in sight. And I know I bring up hair color statistics, like, way too often, and I understand that people can dye their hair, but there's a difference. You know what a natural blonde looks like versus, like, Reese Witherspoon doesn't, maybe she gets highlights or something, but, like, her eyebrows are blonde. You don't, that's not how that works. All these fucking women in this sorority are blonde women. You statistically, like, out of 100, maybe, like, 5 of, what did we say, 10%? Less than 10% of people are blonde?
Something like that.
It's fucking ridiculous. And so there's one brunette, so... Anyways, Legally Blonde,
she beat the odds.
Yeah. She had spunky, like, space buns, and she was, like, really trying to do the most with her little brunette look. She was, like, wearing a cheerleader outfit for some reason for the first half of the movie. There's no cheerleaders. Oh, I was just gonna say there's no cheerleaders in college, but there are.
Yeah, no, there certainly are.
Yeah, your twin sister was one.
Yes,
but... So I know that's real. But they're like,
I fact-checked.
Yeah. But so everyone in the sorority thinks, including Elle, that her boyfriend Warner is going to propose tonight. And so they have this big date. They go out to get her a new dress. And this is where we learn that Elle Woods, though she be hot, also the owner of a capable brain.
She read the saleswoman to filth.
Right? She had half-loop stitching on the top hem, that wouldn't happen. The fabric would snag. Mm-hmm. Something like that goes down. She's like, this is from last season, so I don't think you're gonna charge me full price. Oh, murder. Murder on site in Beverly Hills.
Can't believe no one called the cops.
And so, this is where we learn that maybe she does know a thing or two on how to swindle her way through life. Mm-hmm. And so then she goes out to dinner with Warner, who is a half-baked looking white man of averageness, which is the love interest of every rom-com ever.
Of course.
Basically. Like, other than The Notebook. Mm-hmm. But also maybe The Notebook.
He's blonde in that one.
Would you say Warner is blonde? I think he's teetering.
No, Warner's not blonde. I meant, like, Ryan Gosling.
No, but I think Warner's he's like a light brown. He's almost blonde.
Like,
he has no eyebrows. He has blonde eyebrows. That's why I was trying to figure out what I found so off-putting about his face, and it's his eyebrows. They don't match his hair. They're too light.
Interesting. I didn't pick up on that.
Go look at a picture of him.
I will.
She thinks he's gonna propose. He's actually breaking up with her, and he's like, I'm gonna go to law school. I need Jackie, not a Marilyn. He's like, so I need to marry somebody who sort of elevates my status because I want to run for office. And she's like, of course, I understand. But then he's like, oh, but I'm dumping you. And then so she starts screaming and crying because she's pissed.
As she should. That's one of the things that I wrote down. I was like, this is exactly what you do in that situation. You throw a fit. She was right for that. But anyways.
There's, like, certain things that I can respect you doing in a public place because you want to, like, have the security of people being around you in case something goes, like a first date or something. Or, like, if you're dealing with a really toxic person. But you don't dump your, like, significant other of 4 years at a restaurant, like, halfway through the appetizer course. That's just that's not cool. Elle decides that the way she is going to get Warner back and show him that she is the kind of woman that he should be with is that she's like, well, I'm just going to go to Harvard Law. And so she busts the fuck down. She studies for the LSATs. She makes the most dope essay video of all time. Okay, when she's like, I got a Coppola to direct it. Which one? Which one do you think it was?
Oh, Sophia.
Sophia!
It was Sophia. No question. Imagine if it was Francis Ford Coppola. He's like, yeah, I'm really branching out nowadays.
But she gets an almost perfect score in the LSATs. She says she has a 4.0. She's in school for fashion merchandising, which honestly, this movie came out in 2001, and I think that maybe was a more contentious thing back then. But nowadays, they love that shit when you have like, if you want to go to law school, but you're like a Russian speaking major or something.
Literature, like Russian literature.
But like, yeah, or just like something quirky. I feel like they love that nowadays. Yeah. They're like, oh, you can't get into law school if you did pre-law for your undergrad. You had to do something weird. So they're like, oh, she's fashion merchandising, so she'll be like the first one in Harvard history. So we love diversity, right? Yeah. Which was a silly little joke. Because she's Reese Witherspoon. So they let her in, obviously, as they should, and she shows up to Harvard. She just busts the fuck down, and she does the fuck out of some law school. What else? Warner has a new girlfriend.
Vivian.
Selma Blair. Yeah, Vivian, who is a Jackie. If we're talking Jackie or Marilyn, it's a spitting image. And so they're engaged already, because they were
3 months.
Friends. They were friends when they said that they dated in like middle school or something, or like at summer camp, and that they just hit it off and decided to get engaged, which is obviously like a status thing for them both, clearly.
Like, I don't know, like Vivian does not seem the type to just hunker down that quickly. Like she must have like
probably family pressure. I bet she also had a family that was like. Because, like, look at the way she, I don't know, the way she carries herself. I'm like, even though you're a good person underneath it, I can tell she was, like, conditioned to, like, be that way.
Yeah, true. But this movie really comes to a head when they get, like, this big court case, pretty much.
Yeah, so the teacher, the guy from Titanic, he picks, I don't know his name, the guy from Titanic picks some undergrad students to, like, basically be his interns to work on this case with him, and also his right-hand man, Owen Wilson's brother.
I've got a lot to say about him later.
What's his
we'll
name?
Get to it. Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson. Owen Wilson's not blonde brother decides to show up as the secondary love interest of this movie, and so they do a little how to get away with murder legal team shenanigans. The client is actually a former sorority sister of Elle's who does these like workout videos, and they think that she killed her husband, but the reason she won't give up her alibi is because she was getting liposuction, so she doesn't want everyone to know that her workout videos are a sham. And so Elle keeps that a secret, and she's like, don't worry girl, I got you. And so they do the law. They do the law a few times. And things aren't looking so hot. But then the guy from Titanic is really creepy and starts swindling his little fingers up into Elle's pantyhose. And she says, sir, no, thank you. And she's like, I'm going home. Oh, how have we not even mentioned? There's a whole sideline story with Jennifer Coolidge going on while all of this is happening. A little found family in the nail salon dynamic.
They'll have to watch for that. We'll talk about it, but you'll have to watch to get the full...
Right. Just, Jennifer Coolidge is there, basically.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I want to fuck you, and Elle Woods is like, that's pretty gross, I'm going home. But then Luke Wilson's like, no, you're so smart. And then she's at the nail salon.
Holland Taylor
turns around and is like, you're gonna let some prick ruin your dreams? And then she's like, I think you're right. And so she marches back in there. The defendant? Is that?
Yes.
Court speak? What's her name? What's the hot blonde?
Could not tell you. The one that's accused of murdering her husband.
Yeah. She's like, excuse me, man from Titanic, you're fired. My new lawyer is Elle Woods. And Elle Woods gets the fuck up there and says, perm? You were showering with a perm? I don't think so. And then it turns out that Linda Cardellini did it the whole time.
Whenever she shows up, it's kind of like, you know, like okay. I don't want to say like a Matt Damon jump scare, but you know, like the jump scare that you get when Matt Damon shows up in a movie.
It's the opposite of a jump scare.
Exactly.
I'm thrilled.
Exactly.
I know that this piece of media is about to get a whole lot fucking better when Linda Cardellini pops up on my screen.
took the words right out of my mouth. But it's like this movie and like Brokeback Mountain.
Yes.
I'm like, Linda, when did you get here?
She has all of maybe 3 minutes of screen time, but those 3 minutes are like, yes.
Enough for me.
Her name is Chutney. Her name is Chutney in this movie. What the fuck?
But pretty much in the end, Elle wins the case and she graduates top of her class at Harvard.
Yeah, and then they do a little thing where as they all graduate, they like freeze frame and they're like, Vivian and Warner broke up and Warner has no job and Vivian's doing great. And then you like, I don't know, they do another freeze frame. But then Elle Woods and fucking Owen Wilson's not blonde brother are together now, I guess. Yeah. And that's the story.
Yeah.
That's Legally Blonde.
I feel like whenever we do a recap, we do like a very thorough recap, but at the same time, it's not even close to being thorough.
I'm like, wait, there's 18 other plot lines that I've complete. Like, we missed the whole thing about her study group and the Russian literature kid and how she bonds with everyone and how they all, and how her and Vivian end up becoming friends kind of through all of it.
We give everyone listening just enough. And then the rest you have to go figure out on your own because you have to watch the movie. It's on Netflix right now, so if you haven't, you have
that's true.
Not really much of an excuse.
Yeah, it's available on the American version of Netflix currently if you'd like to give it a watch. Even I feel like this is again a tight 90 if you've seen it before, but you just want to like throw it on. It's just such a good little romp of a film.
So I want to first off just talk about Luke Wilson. I don't know why. It takes a lot for me to sit there and be like, this man. But something about Luke Wilson in this is just kind of sexy.
Okay, this is like last week when I was like, Christian Slater in a trench coat? I kind of get it. You were like, not for me, but it can be for you. That's how I feel about Luke Wilson in this movie. It is not for me, but it can be for you.
I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. His hair, outstanding. His vibe, fantastic. I don't know. I couldn't say. Maybe it's like the TA thing.
I just think that if there was one thing I could change about this movie, it would be that I would swap Luke Wilson for Owen Wilson.
Could you imagine watching this movie, though, with with Owen Wilson, like, just his voice?
Okay, I am going to argue with you right now that if you close your eyes, it's not quite as bad, but the number of times Luke Wilson goes, wow, in this movie, I'm like, it's the same thing, so it might as well be Owen.
I want to know where did they grow up that just left, like, its little mark?
I think, they're from the South, I think.
No, that makes sense.
That's not a Southern, I don't know. I honestly, like, reporters have asked Owen Wilson before if it's because he broke his nose so many times that like, they're like, hey, is your voice like that? Because you broke your nose? And he's like, I decline to comment. But they both sound like that. Literally, Luke Wilson fucking sounds when he's like, wow.
Yeah, they're from Dallas, Texas, so.
Yeah. Makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. As sexy, I don't even want to say sexy, but as much as Luke Wilson does it for me in this movie, it's the UPS man.
Henry and I are really trying to plot and scheme on a UPS man with the broken nose and the Jennifer Coolidge Halloween costume.
You guys would destroy that.
I just think that would be the funniest thing. Like, overline the shit out of your lips and wear, like, a really 80s tracksuit and a scrunchie and then just a UPS uniform and, like, a little nose strip. So good. As Halloween approaches for anyone who celebrates in the way of dressing up, I think this movie has so many. You could just be Elle Woods, just wear all pink and, like, have a chihuahua or something. But Jennifer Coolidge and the UPS man, I think, is a little bit of genius.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think, and maybe we've talked about it before, but I think you and Henry's most iconic outfit was the Guy Fieri and the hot dog costume, but this would one-up it.
It could.
She could be dethroned.
I know, I'm gonna have to go to, like, a lot of consignment shops to try to find somebody's, like, old UPS uniform.
They have, like,
that they
there's
donated.
stores for uniforms, specifically.
I'm not trying to spend a lot of money, but for this costume, I would consider throwing down $1 or $2. to get real with it.
Yeah.
Not that I have anywhere to go on Halloween, but just to like dress up in my house and just sit on my couch and drink wine and dress as Jennifer Coolidge, I think would be quite nice.
Henry needs to wear the shorts specifically too.
Oh yeah, the above the knee shorts, absolutely.
Yeah. No, but I want what those two have. Minimal speaking, don't really talk to each other, and then you're in love, and that's it.
It's all about the eye contact, I think, because she just kind of like vaguely moves her lips around and like kind of squints at him, and he's like, "I will impregnate you as soon as you let me."
Yeah, the movie ends. They're expecting a baby.
Yeah, named Elle.
Love it.
I love that. I love that for them. Just backtracking a half step, I just do want to say that Luke Wilson sounds like Owen Wilson. So Owen Wilson, and I just think that something that somebody said once that really racked my brain, and that I have then since taken a step further into my own analysis, is that if you do an impression of Jennifer Coolidge, and then back to back, you do an impression of Owen Wilson, they are not that different.
No, you're so
say
right.
Wow. Say wow like Jennifer Coolidge. Wow. They're the same. They talk the same. That's the way Jennifer Coolidge and Owen Wilson, also Luke Wilson, sound the fucking same. And so this has basically ruined my life. But also,
hold on.
If you kind of take,
she's a Boston girl. Jennifer Coolidge is a Boston woman.
I did not know.
Oh, wow.
Who the fuck would have guessed?
Not me. She's the farthest thing from Boston that I could have ever thought.
Well, clearly the farthest thing from Boston that Boston has ever seen is a blonde lady, because Elle Woods shows up to fucking Cambridge, and they all look like they've seen a ghost.
I love how this movie destroyed Harvard students. As it should.
Oh my god.
They
originally wanted to make it at University of Chicago, but they needed permission from them to do it, and they were like, no, we don't want a movie about a law teacher being creepy to a student that's set at our school. So they're like, okay, plan B, Harvard. And Harvard was like, we don't give a shit. You cannot destroy the reputation of our school with your stupid rom-com. So they did. And I don't know, it just makes more sense to have it at Harvard. Oh, but just my last point was that you go from Jennifer Coolidge to Owen Wilson, and it very can go easily into Heath Ledger's Joker. My father was a drunk and a fiend. I don't know that quote, but
no, you're not wrong.
I think if you played back to back to back, like Owen Wilson, Jennifer Coolidge, Heath Ledger's Joker,
they could all be related.
Yeah, they're triplets.
They're all blondes. Yeah,
they're all blondes.
The chances of them being family members at this point, considering that they're all blondes,
right,
is a little bit high.
But the only blonde on blonde couple I would ever support would be if Owen Wilson played the role of Luke Wilson in this movie. If it was Owen Wilson and Reese Witherspoon together, I would have loved that.
That's fair.
But I do want to get into how this movie absolutely tears Harvard to shreds. And also just the city of Boston as a whole. They do not do any favors to Boston in this movie, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, good. They didn't owe Boston anything. It look worse.
I wanted a scene of Elle having to take the red line and getting, like, harassed by some townies. That's what would have really made this movie for me, is if she had the true Boston experience. Somebody throws a hot cup of black Dunkin' Donuts coffee on her. That's what it's like to fucking live in Boston.
Yeah, you would know. Oh my god, her just going through Southie.
Yeah, right. Harvard's in the nice part, and the nicer part of Boston.
Cambridge.
So I'm sure she didn't have to deal with too much bullshit. Mm-hmm. But
I would like to think that this movie and Good Will Hunting live in the same cinematic universe.
Oh, absolutely. And I would like to take that one step further and say that I fully believe that this movie and the HBO TV series Big Little Lies, is Big Little Lies on HBO?
Yeah,
it is, right? That her character in Big Little Lies, Reese Witherspoon, simply had to, like, go into witness protection or something because of some legal incident with a client, and that's who she is in the Big Little Lies show. She's the same woman. Because she simply has that Reese Witherspoon-ism about her in every character she plays, basically. So you could say that they're all the same person, I think, to some extent. And I really would like to think that Elle Woods had to, like, go into witness protection or something, and they placed her in the Big Little Lies universe.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. It feels like she should be going back to California, like, after this.
Yeah.
Because, listen,
right?
like, she did great at Harvard, but her heart is in California, and that's where she belongs.
She, like, wants to help Nicole Kidman get out of her domestic abuse, but she can't reveal her true identity.
Exactly.
Adds a lot more layers of conflict to the story.
She's, like, whispering law advice into her ear. She's like, I know your husband.
Mens rea.
I didn't tell you this, but... but yeah, no, like you said, like, there's always that Reese Witherspoon-ism about her, and I could not, like, you said that, like, Owen Wilson could have played Luke Wilson's character in this. True. Fair. I mean, great observation. But she was perfectly cast for this. I don't think anyone else could have done it.
I don't know too much about it, but I know a ton of other crazy A-list celebrity actresses of the blonde persuasion mostly auditioned for this role. And I do believe that after auditions, the only person they sent the full script to was Reese Witherspoon. They were like a fuck ton of people auditioned for it, and they're like, it's simply you. Like, there's no doubt about it. It's just like, you're the one.
Yeah. No.
Because I just think, to a certain extent, she just is Elle Woods.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because she did this character so good that it's just now, like, what I most associate her as. But I think she has a little Elle Woods in everything she plays, which leads me to believe that that's just kind of, like, how she is.
For sure. But speaking of, like, alternates, have you heard about the alternate ending?
Chloe Sevigny?
What? No, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
The alternate for Vivian.
No way.
Yeah. And she said no. They were like, we want Chloe Sevigny. And she was like, no. She's like, I'm not doing that.
Okay,
And so then they got Selma Blair. Yeah.
I'm mad at her now. Because I would have loved that.
Right? This she would have been the perfect... She would have been, like, a little more arty, I think. She would have been, like, the arty Harvard, like, my dad has money, kind of. But, like, she would have worn a turtleneck, I think.
Yes.
That's what would have been different. She would have worn a black turtleneck. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, what I was gonna say was, there was, like, a couple of alternate endings, like, maybe one or two, but one of the alternate endings was, like, Elle and Vivian end up, like, on a beach, like, a couple of years afterwards, like, holding hands or whatever, like, insinuating that they're, like, together, and I was like, as a little fruity lady, I love it, but I don't think it would have worked for me.
I also hate to burst your bubble, Emily, but this simply is untrue.
What?
Because this is a rumor that people on the internet made up.
No.
And the people who wrote the movie were like, yeah, as great as that would be, this is, like, simply not the truth. This movie's based off of a book.
Cut this out.
I do believe, I think it was like about a year ago or something. I
saw
like
this like a couple of months ago, I thought.
Huge blow up that everyone's like, oh my god, did you know that there's an alternate lesbian ending? Yeah, it's not true. It's just like people on the internet made some shit up. Unfortunately, yeah, I hate to burst your bubble because it is the truth that I would like to live in. And I also did believe it, but I read enough. It was just a bunch of like clickbait articles, basically.
Damn, fuck me.
Yeah.
Ugh. Well, that's the world we live in.
Yeah. Where people on Twitter have to make up lies for attention. Who would do such a thing?
And people like me, listen.
Yeah, right?
You fooled me.
I love clickbait because I read the headline and then I never click on the article.
Damn. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I did really love the ending of this movie. I thought it really just fulfilled everything I needed it to. But
I do think it's a little bit interesting that they're like, okay, now her and Luke Wilson are happily together. Whereas, like, I got, obviously, did they ever even kiss in this movie? And, like, because you get romantic tension, and it's only ever insinuating. But he could also just be, like, a really friendly TA, a really good friend. Yeah. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, they never hook up. It would have been very reasonable for them to just both, like, go on their way. So I certainly do think that was a choice. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're back at it again with another chocolate or vanilla interim podcast segment hosted by my dear mother, Jen. Jen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm swell.
Not too bad.
We're so happy to have you. As always, chocolate or vanilla. It's a game we play halfway through the podcast. It's a game of your own invention, although the rules are very simple. You say two things, we say which one we like better. Is there a theme this week?
There is a theme this week. Things that are blonde and not blonde. So blonde versus not blonde.
Amazing. Amazing.
I love this already.
Couldn't be more on brand. For everyone at home, Jen asks me what the movies will be ahead of time, and sometimes she tries to make them applicable to the film, and sometimes she goes rogue. And I will say, this is perhaps your most on-brand theme. As of
pretty literal.
As of yet, yes.
I'm really interested to hear what Dara has to choose from tonight, because I know you take a firm anti-blonde stance.
Me?
Yes, you.
I have been a blonde, and I haven't been not a blonde. This is true.
That's true. How can you be anti-blonde when you've been blonde before?
But it's simply a state of mind, I think. Blonde, it's like Hollywood isn't a place, it's an idea. Blonde is not a hair color, it's a state of mind.
That's fair. Okay, yeah. Okay. All right,
I'm ready to go.
Okay. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Chocolate. Sally from Peanuts or Lucy from Peanuts?
I mean, can I pick, like, Peppermint Patty? I'm gonna go with Lucy, because at least she sticks to her guns.
Yeah, no, I always really liked Lucy. Like, she's a bitch to your face. I can respect that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Lucy also. Machine Gun Kelly or Megan Fox?
Megan Fox, obviously.
You guys can't see this, but my face literally just scrunched right up. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, Megan Fox. I had like a visceral reaction when you said Machine Gun Kelly.
I'll go with Megan Fox also. Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man or Emma Stone as Olive in Easy A?
Emma Stone as Olive in Easy A. I just think that those Spider-Man movies really left something to be desired. And, I don't really know. Her as a blonde just doesn't sit right with me. I do like her more as her more, natural self. And I do think Emma Stone is her most authentic self in Easy A. So I will choose that.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there. Emma Stone and Easy A.
Yeah, same. Easy A. Gwen Stefani or Blake Shelton?
Gwen Stefani, because personally, I'm not of the country music persuasion. And also, as a brilliant woman once said, this shit is bananas, BANANAS. And I just think that's something we should all remember.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, I also... Blake Shelton just, like, kind of has, like, really cringe vibes about him. Like, sometimes I'll see, like, The Voice promos or whatever, and he'll come on my screen and say something really corny, and I'll say, ugh. So yeah, definitely Gwen Stefani.
Okay. All right, sorry, I'll just go to the next one. Dakota Fanning or Kristen Stewart?
Ooh.
Oh, this is hard, because I do like Dakota Fanning, but Kay Stu is she's simply on the rise, and I am just a fan, and I'm so thrilled to see her as a blonde in Spencer.
Oh, I probably shouldn't have picked her as a non-blonde. So.
Yeah, she's current, as of late, she is a blonde, and we love to see it, but she is a brunette, by nature, so I will pick Kristen Stewart, Kay Stu.
Yeah, I'm also gonna have to go for Miss Kristen Stewart. I'm excited to see she's like in her Renaissance phase right now. Like she's coming back like to the top. I don't know. Everyone's saying like Oscar buzz for Spencer, so I'm excited. So for that reason, I'm gonna go with Kristen. What about you, Jen?
I'm actually gonna pick Dakota Fanning. I kind of love her.
My favorite. Well, first of all, I love that they're both in the Twilight franchise. I love that you did that little tidbit. We love Twilight in this house, but also I love that when the first trailer for Spencer came out, Emily, you sent it to me, and you said, "I think her accent sounds great," and I said, "She said." One word. She said one word in the whole trailer.
It was 2 words.
Right, and you're like, I still think she sounds great. Like, that was your one comment. It just cracked me the fuck up. I'm like, we didn't hear her speak. What?
It's like the most important part of, like, playing Diana is the accent. And listen, she gave me the lines, "they can't," and I said, "You can play this role because you hit this right on the head."
It just killed me that was your comment. I just loved it. But
well, other than that, like, there's not much to say except they've got like that like piss filter like over the entire thing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Which I don't love, but like, yeah, like the cinematography looks really hot, but piss filter. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Cinderella or Snow White?
Well, I just think that Cinderella is a bit more compelling of a character, personally to me. Because if you just look at those two films, Snow White just sings in that obnoxious voice, and then she goes to sleep, and I think it's for the best. Whereas Cinderella, she overcomes a struggle. She had adversity, and she fought that shit. And so I think Cindy is coming out on top. I just think if they had to fist fight, who's going to win? And I think Cinderella's scrappy.
I think you're right about that, but I'm going to pick Snow White simply because I would like to fall asleep for an extended period of time and then wake up with, like, the life of my dreams, man of my dreams kind of thing, and then just be set. I didn't have to do anything.
She's like,
I'm jealous.
I'll go with Cinderella. A blondie brownie or a regular brownie?
Regular brownie. It's like, if somebody offers me a blondie, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to eat it. But things should be the way they're intended to be. And a brownie's a brownie. And a blondie is some knockoff jack shit fucking bull crap version of what is supposed to be right. And I get that some people don't like chocolate, and I get that a blondie is for you, but you're in the minority, and brownies are it.
So I'm in the minority.
Yeah, okay, well, we play, here's the thing, Jen, is that we play chocolate or vanilla every week, and I think we all know where Emily stands.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, if you couldn't tell by the fact that I pick vanilla every single week, yeah, I don't know, like, I'm not a big brownie person. Like, if you put it in, like, an ice cream sundae, then, like, I can do it. But, like, that's, like, vanilla ice cream on top. I just need something else to cut through, and for me, that's a bit of cookie underneath the brownie. So I'm gonna go with a blondie.
Okay, I'm gonna go with regular brownie. Regular, traditional.
I love that we have, like, full, like, it's, like, almost like a court appearance sort of thing. And it's like, we both, Dara and I will both argue our sides, and then Jen will be like, I don't know, I think I'm going with the brownie.
Just, like, throw down their gavel.
Yeah, you and I each present a full case for our answer, and then Jen just comes in with a one word, brownie. Done. Next.
Oh,
Jen is judge, jury, and executioner in this scenario.
I'm gonna wear my Judge Jen collar next week.
Yeah, we need to get you like a gavel.
Yes.
All right. Betty or Veronica, meaning Lily Reinhart or Camila Mendez from Riverdale.
I cannot answer. I'm sorry. Repeat this again. Lily Reinhart. She
plays Betty, and then Camila Mendez plays Veronica.
Who's I don't think I really know who either.
You don't
of
watch.
those
You've
people
never
are.
seen Riverdale
Can I pick the? Can
at all?
I've never seen Riverdale, Jen. I'm not 15. Can I pick the redhead?
No,
Who's the gay redhead?
I didn't chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry this one.
Can I pick Cole Sprouse?
Pick one.
Dylan Sprouse.
You're missing you're missing the point of chocolate or vanilla.
Oh, sorry. Can I pick Camila Mendez? Yeah. Is that her name? I'll pick her.
I'm gonna go for Lily Reinhart, not because I know anything about either of these people, but because I really liked her dress at the Met Gala, so...
Oh! Yeah, and she dated Cole Sprouse for a while, right?
Yep.
Yes. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, she was the one who wore all the 50 state flowers on her dress,
and I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, Christian Siriano. We love a Project Runway
him.
Turned international fashion star in this house.
Outstanding.
I actually agree. I thought her dress was great. Mm-hmm. Speaking of, I thought that the Met Fashion Gala this year, the theme was American fashion, and nobody fucking showed up as Elle Woods. Nobody showed up in a pink pantsuit. Are you kidding? This movie features the most American fashion I've ever seen in my life. And nobody pulled an Elle Woods moment. I just think it's gone to waste.
Missed opportunity, but apparently they're doing like the second Met Gala, and it's this
part two. They're like, y'all fucked up, so we're doing it again.
Yeah, no, this is us pitching one celebrity, someone that.
I just think Casey Musgraves should just wear her same outfit when she wore like the Barbie outfit with the. She just wear the same thing, girl. You already own it. Like.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, Jen, who do you pick for this Riverdale?
I'm gonna go with Betty, Lily Reinhart, Saoirse Ronan or Timothy Chalamet.
Okay, here's the thing: is that there is absolutely not a doubt in my mind that it's Saoirse Ronan. And although I love me some Timmy, I just have to say that he has not performed to the same capacity as Saoirse. He has simply shown us that he is able to appear in front of a camera and look hot, and that's about it. Whereas Saoirse, she's giving us Lovely Bones, she's giving us Atonement, she's giving us Little Women, she's giving us Yes, and so for that reason, Saoirse Ronan every single time.
Yeah, of course it's Saoirse Ronan for me. I also like to think like Saoirse could beat Timothy in a fist fight for sure. And so for that, she definitely gets, like, bonus points.
I love the 2 times that they've been love interests. She's always, like, kind of twisting his arm, right? She's always kind of, like, she has the upper hand, and I'm like, this is true of real life. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yes, she's in control here.
I can't wait for French Dispatch. I feel like she has, like, 3 minutes of screen time total, probably.
And it's gonna be the best. It's gonna be the best fucking 3 minutes
Exactly,
of the whole movie.
Exactly.
She was also really good in The Host. Did you guys ever see that?
No.
So Stephanie Meyer wrote another book called The Host, and she was really good in it. All right, Olivia Holt or Olivia Rodrigo?
Who's Olivia Holt?
She was from the Disney Channel show where they were in the karate studio.
Oh, Kicking It.
Yes.
She looks like, yes. Okay, Olivia Holt or Olivia Rodrigo. Okay.
She just made a cameo on The Bachelor in Paradise. You know how they have, like, a concert and they're all, like, partying and dancing or whatever? They introduced her and she sang some songs.
Do headbang to Good For You in My Car, and I can't say that Olivia Holt has had quite that impression on me, so I'm gonna say Olivia Rodrigo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say, if Olivia Holt is only like doing Bachelor in Paradise right now, she is not booked and busy. You know who is? Olivia Rodrigo.
I also just love that she dated that boy from High School Musical, the series, and then they broke up, and she made $1 billion fucking dollars off of it. You know what he did? Jack fucking shit. He got like ulcerative colitis because he was so stressed out about the songs that she released, or like he got like sepsis or something because like he heard her new album and it was all about him, and it caused him so much stress that he was like had to get detained in a medical facility. And I just think that's the power of women, you know.
That's awful if any of that is true.
Don't quote me, but...
I just know that I would hate to be, like, his agent or his PR team the week that, what's the name of her album? Sour came out?
Yeah, it's good.
I am gonna go with Kickin' It, Olivia Holt.
You did love that show, Kickin' It. They all hung out at the falafel shop, and you thought that was so great.
I did. I used to watch it even when you guys, like, weren't with me. Watch it by myself. Hanson Brothers or Jonas Brothers?
Who?
The Hanson Brothers or the Jonas Brothers? The like.
You did not just say who to Hanson.
Bop.
Bop, 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 ooh, up. Obviously the Jonas Brothers, pretty interestingly, one of my professors recently talked about how they got invited to some sort of big event and how they were seated at the same table as the Jonas Brothers and how they had no idea who any of them were. And how, like, after the fact, they, like, texted somebody, and they're like, yeah, like, who are these Jonas men? And I was like, she was like, does anybody here love the Jonas Brothers? And I was the only person who shot my hand up, and I was like, all 3 of them? I was like, were all 3 of them plus Frankie there? And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, I cannot believe you sat at a table with these 3 men, and you got 0 intel the whole time.
I wonder if the plus ones were there, too, like...
I literally, I tried to grill her and she was like, I couldn't tell you. And I was like, you were at a table with them, like at some sort of like award show. And it was devastating to me.
That's wild.
Lives under a rock.
Oh my goodness.
Definitely.
I wish I was that blissfully unaware.
Right?
Yeah. as much as bop sometimes
is an
will
bop
live in my head for exactly. As much as bop is an bop, I'm gonna have to go with the Jonas Brothers just because I grew up with them. And also, have you seen Joe Jonas lately? Jesus Christ.
I would say, have you seen Nick Jonas lately? Jesus Christ. No, he doesn't do it for you.
He doesn't do it for me.
I'm gonna pick Joe Bros, but the Hanson brothers were on the last season of Masked Singer.
Again, shows who's booked and busy.
Of course they were.
Who's booked and busy. Who's on the Masked Singer and who's out here at award shows with people who couldn't be bothered to recognize them, you know?
They did really good, though. They did really good. And then last one, Chad Michael Murray or Tom Holland?
Wow. Okay.
Had to go there.
It's really interesting because a couple weeks ago, I did choose Chad Michael Murray over Jesus Christ himself, as I believe we all did. But I just have to say, as far as who is a teen heartthrob in my life, although Chad Michael perhaps occupied some mind space between ages 9 and 12, Tom Holland currently lives rent-free in my mind. So it's gotta be my boy. It's gotta be my boy Tommy.
Yeah, this is like Chad Michael Murray versus actual Jesus. Chad, of course. But now this is Chad Michael Murray versus your own personal Jesus.
Yeah, correct. And here's the thing is that just simply factually, Chad Michael Murray was never Spider-Man, and immediately anyone who hasn't been Spider-Man falls short to anybody who was, you know?
No, that's fair. Yeah, I'm also gonna go with Tom Holland on this one.
Yeah, Tom Holland for the sweep.
Wow, really, Jen? You're picking Tommy H over Chad Michael?
I am.
I'm shocked.
You just made your Spider-Man argument, and I couldn't go against it.
Yeah, I hope to see Tom Holland in some more interesting movies, because his other Spider-Man work has been leaving something to be desired for me. But I'd love to see him in a rom-com. You know, I'd love to see Tom Holland do something where he doesn't have to take himself quite so seriously. So we'll see. But I am a huge fan.
I want to hear him use his. I want to hear just use his actual British accent in a movie.
Right? For once.
Everything he's done is very American.
True.
Very
a little Brit in a rom-com, you know what I mean?
It would be so cute.
That's my favorite genre.
Cute. Yeah. So that was everything.
Thank you so much. This was a really great theme. Blondes versus non-blondes. I would say I would have to tally, but I think we chose more non-blondes. I'd say we leaned. I think we leaned brunette this round, which is a bit shocking.
I think you are correct. I think you are correct.
Jen, if you had to choose between Selma Blair and Reese Witherspoon, the blonde and the brunette in this movie.
Yeah, I love Reese. I just love everything she does.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I would go with Reese.
Well, thanks as always for coming on the pod. We love it. Make sure everyone to keep your eyes peeled. We'll post these on our Instagram probably sometime within the upcoming week. So we love to see your votes. I send them manually to Jen just so she knows, who voted what. We love to give her the results. So make sure to vote on Instagram if you have that at the Swamp Podcast. And thank you, Jen, for coming as always.
All right. I love you guys. Have a good night.
I love you too. Bye.
Okay.
We need to talk about the iconic scene in the salon.
Bend and snap.
Bend and snap. I love to see women supporting women bending and snapping together.
And most importantly, it's the bend and snap we did together along the way. It's okay. The thing about this is that it's so absurd. This scene of this movie, if you just all of a sudden are I'm on crack. I just am on another level of existence because this scene of this movie makes no fucking sense. Out of absolutely nowhere. Elle is you bend and then you bring your arms up to your armpits like a chicken. I've never seen anybody do that in a sexy way ever. Even none of them look sexy doing it. So what does this? I've never seen a human being do that maneuver in any reasonable context or ridiculous context. So what the fuck is going on here? And then music starts playing and they do a choreographed dance number to Bend and Snap, and they're all like going down their like leg in unison, everyone, and then it just happens. It's just a bubble within this movie of absolute tomfoolery.
Like,
and it's great.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I love it. Like, it's just one of those things like, Elle, you could just bend down to show this man your ass. It's fine.
It's like weird. It's weird to me that like I think the Kardashians created the ass popularization curve probably around 2010 because all early media, it's like, my ass looks so fat in these jeans. Ugh. And I'm like, meanwhile, today we're like, I got a fat ass. So it's just like interesting to see how that culture has shifted, because it was very much then like the Paris Hilton stick skinny ideal of beauty. So it's like saying that any part of your body was fat was inherently bad. So like saying that you have a fat ass was a bad thing, which is just funny because now it's like that's the goal. Like, yeah, I've got a fat ass.
And you can see it in this movie too, because it was like when Jennifer Coolidge is talking about her ex-husband, she's like, yeah, all I got left with was stretch marks and a fat ass. And she's saying it like it's a bad thing, but it honestly took me a minute, like just like a beat, and I was like, wait, what? And I was like, oh yeah, no, everyone wanted to be like coke thin back then.
But speaking of the Kardashians, you know Selma Blair plays Kris Jenner in the O.J. Simpson American Crime Story series. She's amazing.
I never realized.
It's if you haven't watched the first season of American Crime Story about the O.J. Simpson trial, she plays Kris Jenner, and she is absolutely fucking phenomenal. And I think her and Kris Jenner have actually met several times in real life. That Kris Jenner like sent her a fruit basket for being like, thank you for portraying me so beautifully on this TV show. But yeah, if it just makes sense. You look at Vivian and you're like, yeah, early Kris. I'd also like to think that this movie, Vivian also has to go into witness protection and then she becomes Kris Jenner.
Yeah, no, I like that. Her and Elle only occasionally talk, you know what I mean? Like, they're both out in California and they're like, they have like, they never call each other.
They just bump into each other at the Whole Foods.
Exactly, and they're like, okay, should we go get coffee? And then they like have coffee, or maybe like grab a drink like every like year or so when they see each other.
But it's just Kris Jenner and then Reese Witherspoon's character from Big Little Lies.
I can't think of her name.
Actually. I couldn't tell you.
The only character's name I know is Laura Dern, because she's Renata Klein.
Renata Klein.
I think I'm going to be Laura Dern for Halloween this year. I think...
Laura Dern in what medium?
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park?
Yeah, it's one of those...
Can I be the Velociraptor?
Yeah, 100%. It's one of those things, like, I've coordinated with my roommates, and everyone's, I think, gonna be, like, one of the characters, but I looked at my closet, and I was like, wait, I own this outfit already. I need to do this.
I thought you were gonna say that each of your roommates was gonna be a different Laura Dern. And that would have been something else. That really ugly dress she wore to the Oscars, that's the Laura Dern I would be. I'd be flop Oscar Laura Dern.
I might have to pitch that to them now. You might have just made a point.
I just think it's funny when everyone's the same celebrity, but you're all like different iterations.
My god, yeah, like on TikTok when people have like, I saw someone did like a Meryl Streep party.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to do that.
Oh, I would be Meryl Streep from Big Little Lies, and I would just scream.
Oh my god.
I would just dress up like an old woman and I would simply shriek.
I would be Meryl Streep from Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh my god. I did see a really good meme though. So you know about the new Mario movie and all the voice castings that they've done for it? Obviously it's the talk of the town. I love
everyone's except for Chris Pratt. Oh my god.
But I really saw a good meme, and I just retweeted it on my Twitter today. So if anyone wants to go take a look at it, it's a picture of Jennifer Coolidge next to Rosalina. If you know Rosalina from like the Mario universe, she has like blonde side bangs, and it's like, cast this and I'll forgive the rest.
I just thought it was so weird that Anya Taylor-Joy signed on to it. It is so weird. Like, everyone else... It's just another one of those instances of them being like, how many... I'm sure they shelled out, because it's a Mario movie, so they're already backed, I'm sure, by trillions of dollars. They're like, how much can we shell out for getting every close to A-list person we possibly can? Because that's how you promote movies these days. And unfortunately, it's pretty sad that, like, the guy who's been voicing Mario
for literally 30 years. It's like nobody knows his name, so we got to get Chris Pratt. I mean, obviously I know there's like a back and forth there. I'm not mad about Charlie Day being Mario. I'm actually thrilled about it. So I'm going to pick like, oh yeah, Luigi. I mean, I'm going to like obviously pick and choose the things to complain about because I'm a bad person. But yeah, like why the fuck is Anya Taylor-Joy?
It's just one of those things.
Like,
I was like,
riddle me that.
Like, girl, that check has got to be astoundingly big.
So fat. Yeah.
Like, I know you're like...
Have you seen the 8 trillion, the memes of Peach in front of a chessboard doing the Anya Taylor-Joy pose?
No.
Like, there's so many Princess Peach, Queen's Gambit edits I've seen already are just...
I don't know, like, indie darling gone fucking big franchise, I guess. Like, all right, Anya.
It's because Netflix.
No.
Netflix did
I know, which, like, I respect, and I get it. She's gonna have to do, like 4 A24 movies to make up for this.
Yeah, right.
She's gotta, like, balance it out.
Right. Her and Timothée Chalamet are gonna have to do something really gritty together to, like, pay for their sins.
Yeah, honestly, right. Begging to the indie gods on their hands and knees, like, what can I do? Please let me repent. Oh, I want to talk a little bit about the court scene. I do want to talk about the court scene because I think there's a lot of people that would be like, there's a lot of great court movies out there and everything like that. People would like argue like Trial of the Chicago 7, best. It's not. Or like, what is it? A Few Good Men. No, Legally Blonde is a top tier court movie. Like anyone can fight me on it, but I think it's just simply outdoes.
It's just that the moment when she just pulls that perm bit out of her ass is just that is the moment of this movie, and I'm not entirely going to disagree with you, but I will say in my choice for what I would follow this movie up with is what I would dare say rivals this as far as great court law movies.
Okay, let's jump into our regularly scheduled programming then, because I can't wait to hear this. So should we start with Fuck, Marry, Kill?
Yeah, would you say that the 3 main characters, do we want to do Elle, Vivian, Warner?
Which this is a no-brainer for me.
Okay, well yeah, we're gonna kill Warner, duh. We're gonna marry Elle and we're gonna fuck Vivian.
Exactly.
Even though I feel like Elle is probably a lot. She seems like a lot for me. But I want to wear not matching, but coordinated outfits every day.
Yeah.
And I think she would be very down for that. And I think that is something I'm ready for.
If I met Vivian, like, post her friendship with Elle, then I'd say, fuck Elle, marry Vivian. But if I had to marry her with all of the substance that I get from this movie, it's fuck Vivian, marry Elle.
Yeah.
Because she sucks for, like, 80% of the movie.
Well, we can just do from the whole movie, because I'm gonna marry into the throuple of Jennifer Coolidge and her UPS husband. Yes. Obviously. I'm gonna be their, like, live-in au pair, so that both of them can still work full-time, but I'm gonna raise the baby. But I'm, like, not gonna do that good of a job. But at least, you know, she doesn't have to quit her job at the nail salon. But, like, I'm still gonna hang out at the nail salon with her. I'm just gonna, like, cradle the baby while it's happening. I'm going to fuck probably still Vivian. Yeah.
It feels like one of those things, like, she needs it. Are you taking my stance this week?
Yeah, she's also, I'm just like, who is, like, hot in this movie other than Reese Witherspoon and Selma Blair? Like, yeah, just to like, piss off Warner.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that would really get to him. And I'm gonna kill Elle's dad for his money.
Fair enough.
Rob him. I'm gonna rob him.
I really liked that it's the only 2 scenes he has is him by the pool, and then at her graduation he has a martini by the pool, and then at her graduation he has a martini with him there. I just thought that was really iconic of him.
I'm gonna change my answer. I won't kill Elle's dad. I'm gonna kill Jennifer Coolidge's ex-husband, obviously.
Yes. No, that I was gonna go the same route, and I'd say I'd kill her ex-husband. That's where I'm sitting with that. But I'm gonna fuck Enid. I think that was her name. The one lesbian that was on the legal team.
She was the worst, though. She was the worst. You should fuck Holland Taylor.
I'm getting there. Here's my thing is, I know Enid knows what she's doing. But I'm gonna marry Holland Taylor. Because Sarah Paulson is onto something. And when she spun around in that salon chair, my heart dropped to my pussy.
And you're right, and you're simply right for that. I couldn't agree and support you more.
Thank you.
Did you eat or drink anything fun with this movie?
No, I watched this movie right after I got out of work last night, and so I grabbed 2 slices of pizza and whatever seltzers me and my roommates keep in the garage. So I have recommendations, though. I would not recommend that you do what I did. Mine was a struggle meal.
Mine was popcorn and wine, which is like, I eat that every day.
Typical.
Anyway, so what?
Yeah. To drink, I did Google pink drinks. I will be frank with you. So obviously, you could do like a Cosmo or something like that. But I think what fits...
That would be great, though, because she goes, any Cosmo girl would know. At the end, when they're talking about, like, how did you know about the perm? And she's like, any Cosmo girl would know. So exactly. I do think a Cosmo would be especially appropriate for this movie.
Yes, I agree. But to go with my food pairing for this, I think that you get, like, some sort of... or make some sort of strawberry-esque sangria. Mm-hmm. I think that's a really great idea. And then you could either get, like, you and all your girls are watching this movie. Let me set the scene. It's you, all your girlfriends, you're hanging out.
It's me, Henry, the cats.
Exactly. Yes. Hanging out, doing a girls' night. Maybe you did like a face mask while you watched this. It's what Elle would want. But, so you have your strawberry sangria, and I said you either get one of those massive boxes of chocolates, because Elle, in the beginning of this movie, is, like, sitting down, like, eating a huge box of chocolate, while she's, like, getting over her breakup with Warner. But better than that, I say you get, like, a fat thing of cheesecake. You sit down with your strawberry sangria and your cheesecake of choice, and you just go to town.
Wow. Mm-hmm. This is brilliant.
Thank you. I really thought about it this week.
Wow. Yeah, I usually come in with a little bit prepared, but this week, not so much. I'm leaning into your choice. I would say rosé, if you get some sort, or like sparkling wine, like just like the fruitiest, pinkest wine you can possibly find. I love the idea of doing like a strawberry daiquiri or something, especially a Cosmo too. I think that's really good. And yeah, as far as like food they actually show on screen in this movie,
not much.
Pretty few and far between. I know last week we went with colors, but again, just like pink. Literally anything pink.
I mean, really, you have to.
Would work. And I totally agree. This is like you get in your pajamas and you like do a face mask and like I had popcorn with it, which just like felt right to me. If I know, like, again, we've been ditching the cheese board thing for so long because we just say it every week, but like a nice little charcuterie with this movie, just it's like classy, it feels nice. Yeah. But I love your idea of a pink cocktail and a fucking cheesecake. Oh, that's just nice.
A cheese, like, I always think back to, like, Cheesecake Factory, because they give you, like, a cheesecake slice big enough to be, like, 2 meals, pretty much. So I think it's right. I think it's what you should do. But also, like, if you're gonna do a cheese board, get, like, a tiny little, like, chocolate, box of chocolate with it. So you have a cheese board and a little box of chocolate.
Yeah, I do think that scene of her eating, like, those truffles...
Love it.
Like, makes me fucking want, like, a box of... Even just, like, a shitty Whitman sampler, like, from CVS.
Couldn't care.
Like, I love when you get the little, the guide, and you're like, which one's dark chocolate with caramel? Like, let me scope it out. Or like, oh, this one's raspberry. Or I think my mom had a coworker once that shoved her thumb into every truffle to find the one that she wanted. And everyone was like, you dumb bitch, there's a fucking guide. Isn't that foul?
I would actually throw hands. That's fucked up. But, okay, off-topic question, though. What's your go-to? Because when I have, like, a sampler like that, I've saved the best ones for last. What one do you save for last?
I would say that, like, just off the top of my head, the one that is my favorite...
Yes.
It's dark chocolate, it has a few crumbles of sea salt on the top, and it's caramel in the middle.
Nope, exactly the same. I love caramel little bar.
I would say that lately I've really treated myself, and if anybody also wants to treat themselves, the dark chocolate peanut butter cups from Trader Joe's, you can get like a pint of them, and I stick them in my freezer, and then I just have these nice little, or in my fridge, and I have these nice cold dark chocolate peanut butter cups, and I'll have like one as like a little treat a day, and then it takes like a month to get through them, but then by the time I'm done, I'm like, I'm ready for a new one.
No, that's exactly what I do. It's one of those things like like late night, like right before I go to bed, like yes. I'm like
one little decadent peanut butter cup.
Walking to the bathroom to brush my teeth, and then like the pantry just looks at me from out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, oh shit. I know who's in there.
I'll be bad. I'll do it.
They also have really good what is it? Like sunflower seed cups, which is like the same sort of thing. But I really like those from Trader Joe's. But yeah, no, definitely chocolate or cheesecake I think is the way to go this for this movie.
Henry and I have just come around to the Trader Joe's orange chicken that you get from the frozen section, and believe it or not, we've had it for dinner 3 nights in a row now.
As you should. We actually have, for what reason, I don't know, we have like a lot of things hanging on our fridge, but we have like a like the old like bag of orange chicken like hanging on our fridge.
Oh my god, yeah, truly I want it framed.
Yeah. Whose it was, don't know, wasn't mine, but I respect whoever put it up there because they're right for it. Have you ever gotten the key? Okay. We're getting off topic. I don't care.
Yeah, that's okay.
The quiche from Trader Joe's.
I'll have to try it. I had never been a Trader Joe's shopper until recently, and this is where I've been every time. It just gets better and better, so I'll have to snag a quiche next time.
Yeah, I really like the cheddar broccoli one that they have. It's outstanding. Especially you just like throw it in like your oven or your air fryer for like 30 minutes. Air fryer probably less, and then it's
There's nothing more classy than a quiche.
Exactly.
It's just a classy food. Mm-hmm. It's an egg pie, but it's just classy.
Exactly. It's the easiest breakfast I've ever had, and it's the payoff is outstanding.
Mm-hmm. So, what would you watch next?
So, I did a bit of thinking. And I have 2 recommendations. I'll go with the one that I lean a little less into first. And it was just sort of off the top of my head. I really like the movie, coming back to Anya Taylor-Joy, Emma. I like her, Emma, from like, what was it, 2020, 2019? Something like that?
Yeah.
I really like that movie. It gives me girl boss vibes, but it's like a little more aesthetically pleasing, and if you're looking for a period piece, I'd say like go for that. But the one that...
But also just a little blonde bitch getting her shit done.
Exactly. But the recommendation that I lean into far more is we're on the other side of the law, pretty much. Elle Woods is prosecuting. I'm looking at my criminal girls who I love. And I say you watch the movie Hustlers. I think it's a great movie. I think it really... Jennifer...
Lopez.
Yeah, Lopez, thank you. J-Lo got fucking snubbed for this movie. And it's just a really good time. It very much has, like, just that entertaining aspect of it that Legally Blonde has, and it's very easy to watch. And you're really rooting for these girls, kind of, sort of, mostly.
I would say I haven't seen Hustlers, and I wouldn't dare compare the two, but this gives me, like, Ocean's 8 with Rihanna. You know, it's just, like, it's a fun movie, and you're rooting for the ladies. You're like, yes, pull off that heist, queen.
Yeah. No, that's my firm recommendation. It's a great movie.
So, I didn't dare to fully argue against your point that this is the greatest courtroom movie of all time, but I do have something that I think is just about as good.
Let me hear it.
And this is something that I did watch as a double feature in real life once, so I'm speaking from a point of truth. And we did this when... my cousin Erin, who was a guest on our episode for A Cinderella Story, if any of you remember, when she graduated from law school.
Courtroom queen.
We took her out to dinner, and then we're like, we want to do a movie marathon, and the theme is law. And so we're like, okay, obviously Legally Blonde, but then we're like, what next? My Cousin Vinny. If you haven't seen, it's just so good, and it's in that same way that it's like the lawyer who you think might not be able to do it, and then Marissa Tomei is there looking so fucking hot, and also the kid from Karate Kid is there. It's just such a good movie, and I would say it's an equally good courtroom scene at the end there when Marissa Tomei knows about cars. I think when Elle Woods knows about perms is to when Marissa Tomei knows about cars and cracks the case in My Cousin Vinny. And they were just so great to watch back to back. We watched those two for like a little law movie extravaganza once, so highly recommend.
No, you're so right for that. You made a great point.
I do like your perspective of like, yeah, now I want to watch a movie about crime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta flip-flop a little bit.
Yeah, right? Like, The Departed. No, just kidding. I would never choose to watch The Departed.
No. So what would you rate this movie? Because I'm sitting at a firm 7.5, 8. Honestly.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
It's one of those ones that's just so entertaining for me that I have to give it like those bonus. Like, is it cinematically a masterpiece? No, but I love it so much and it's so entertaining that it does everything it needs to for me.
Yeah, I agree. I just think it bumps down a few points for me for a couple of moments that I just don't think really age well. And I think, you can make the argument of like, oh, it was 2001. But I just think any movie that says something that kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth probably shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. So like they use the R word at one point, which I don't love. And the whole like her knowing that the pool boy is gay because he knew what brand of shoes she was wearing was like just a little like, it didn't have to be like, she could have caught him kissing his boyfriend and that could have been the thing. It didn't have to be so like referencing stereotypes to me. And there were just a couple of those moments that I was like, oh, this is very much like a 2001 movie when nobody was really thinking about the consequences for what they were saying. So that's the reason why I think it gets a little bit knocked down for me. But Reese Witherspoon's hair gets 6.5 points from me for this movie. So,
but let's get into. We need to talk a little bit about. Last week we did our monthly poll.
Yes, and we got some fucking great answers. Let me pull up.
Hold on.
Not only the list of those who entered. So last week was Heather's, and we asked you to answer the lunchtime poll, which was you inherit $5 million the day aliens land on Earth and say they're going to blow it up. What do you do? And I'm just going to spew off a couple of these.
There was some really good ones.
There's some really fucking funny ones. I know your roommate said drugs and hookers. And I was like, well, yeah. I was like, yeah.
And she's right for that.
That does.
I really liked, who was this? JJOG on Instagram, said they were going to pay Jen.
Yeah, it's a pay Jen the intern. I sent her a screenshot of that and she was so delighted. Yeah. I love, somebody said, we got a couple of people who did some iteration of like rent out a movie theater and like have the biggest movie marathon until the world blows up, which is like a superb answer, of course. What an alternate question would be like, what movie do you want to die halfway through?
Oh,
like,
that's a great.
Like you have to die at the midway point of a movie. Like which one would it be? That's a little harsh.
No, but that's a really good. No, that's a good question. I really like Angel responded and he said, I would buy a lot of watermelons and just eat them with my dog. And I think that is outstanding.
I love also, let's see, Amy Crowder said, have a cheeky McDonald's.
You're so right for that. Fifth_Ray said, I'd buy some of the most ridiculously expensive food I could find, which I think is absolutely the right answer.
Oh, I would have a fit at Wegmans. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? With a $5 million check, I would buy out the cheese section.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'd go absolutely off. Number 5. Who is our 5th commenter or responder?
Angel _
Angel who responded with the watermelons question.
Yes. Angel _C _ Zapata, I would buy a lot of watermelons and eat them with my dog. You probably had the best answer, and also you've won our giveaway this month.
Yes, so we will be entering your DMs probably right after we finish recording this, letting you know that you won.
I do think that they sedated this chihuahua to be in this movie, and I just want to give thoughts and prayers. This dog, I believe, I looked up, it died in 2016, but it lived to be 18 years old, that little chihuahua.
It's always the tiny little dogs that, like, live to be 15 years plus, which I respect them for that.
Yeah, so I forgot to write his name down, but peace and blessings to the dog who played Bruiser, who definitely was given ketamine before.
I know.
Shooting this movie.
In my life have I met a chihuahua so, like, or not even I didn't meet this dog. But have I seen
Never have I seen a dog on TV so mild-mannered.
Yeah, exactly. Chihuahua specifically.
Right? Oh, you know what you could watch after this? You could watch Beverly Hills Chihuahua. That could be an interesting choice for you. Or like Air Bud.
Ooh.
Beethoven. You could go on a little dog kick here.
Why not?
Actually, I think.
Why not?
So thank you all for joining us for Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss month. Next month is October, and we are patrons of the Halloween holiday in this house, so we'll be doing some spooky, the loose theme of like Halloweeny spookiness. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Let us know if there's anything you are absolutely dying to see or hear us talk about. If you're like, if you don't talk about The Nightmare Before Christmas, I'm gonna cut off my own foot. I would say maybe come back around in December. But yeah, make sure to DM us with what you think. Again, we'll be in your DMs, Angel, about winning this giveaway. Thank you to everyone who participated. All the links to our social media are in our description below. Working on new merch. If you got, like, we say this, we've been saying this every week for the past. I actually ordered new stickers though, so keep your eye out. A new sticker design done by a cool artist who we know is coming, so that'll be up on our website pretty soon. We'll post about it on our social media as well. And thank you all so much for listening. And go get your bulldog back from your husband. Dog 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 back.